Hello, my name is Patrick McKenzie, and I'm going to be talking about Muslim women's contraceptive access and use in the Middle East and North Africa, defusing the looming demographic bomb. Following the attacks on 9/11, academic and popular discourse in the United States have heavily scrutinized Muslim fertility. As one scholar puts it, Muslim women's uncontrolled fertility has created a looming demographic bomb with the potential to bring down world peace and prosperity. These colonialist concerns have resulted in significant and problematic American interest in Muslim women's use of contraceptive methods. At the same time, there is a real unmet need for many women in the Middle East and North Africa, or MENA, that do want to use contraception. For these women, contraception may provide the ability to choose the number, timing, and spacing of their children, a choice considered fundamental to reproductive autonomy. With that in mind, my research question is, what factors influence Muslim women's access to and use of contraceptive methods in MENA? And I want to explore this question through the lens of intersectionality theory, examining how systems of inequality relating to gender and religion intersect as social determinants of contraceptive access and use. For my findings regarding gender, Western discourse often describes Muslim women as passive objects of oppression. However, Muslim women more often see themselves as people making their own moral decisions within their communities. In fact, the majority of women decide whether or not to use contraception in the region with their husbands or on their own, rather than husbands alone making that decision. That said, much like in the United States, patriarchal understandings still shape and restrict women's access to and use of contraceptives, especially through unequal relations of power between men and women. There is still a sizable minority of women for whom their husbands alone make decisions regarding their contraception. For example, Hughes describes a Moroccan woman who did not want another child because of a medical condition she had, but she had no other money or work and was scared her husband would leave her if she didn't have another baby, so she was essentially forced to have another child. Switching gears to talk about religion, there's a common Western assumption that Islam is monolithically opposed to contraception. However, Islam does not prohibit the use of contraceptive methods, and in fact, most Islamic leaders encourage the use of all contraceptive methods as long as they do not interfere with a woman's health or well-being, with the exception of sterilization. In fact, many women explain their own use of contraception through their Islamic understandings. Here, Hughes provides the example of a Moroccan woman, Nawal, who explains that from her perspective, God wants Muslims to have children, but only as many as they can properly provide for. For her, contraceptives are a way to make the most of what God has given her. However, Islam has been used as a tool to restrict women's access to and use of contraceptives in MENA as well. For example, some Islamic leaders argue that sterilization does permanent harm, making it unacceptable under Islam. Moreover, extramarital sex is widely considered forbidden by Islam, and is even illegal in some countries in the region. Unmarried women thus often avoid contraceptive use because of a lack of confidentiality and fear of moral judgment by their providers. With that in mind, the intersection of complex social inequalities relating to gender and religion in MENA shape factors influencing Muslim women's access to and use of contraceptive methods. For example, one of the most commonly cited reasons by women for not using contraception in MENA are fatalistic beliefs, or the belief that conception is only up to God. Additionally, Muslim women cite disapproval from others as a reason for not using contraceptives, especially from women's husbands. For example, an OBGYN in Morocco attributed issues of contraceptive use to more conservative Muslim men preventing their wives from seeing doctors. Finally, Muslim women often cite fear of adverse side effects as a concern in not using contraceptives. These are often based on rumors of side effects or their actual experiences with them. It's worth noting that all of these factors are similar to those that influence many American women's contraceptive access and use. Thus, despite Western assumptions, the experience of Muslim women with contraceptive access and use are not monolithic. That said, for women that want to use contraception, systems of inequality relating to their gender and religion profoundly shape their experiences. Yet, it's important to approach issues of contraceptive access and use in MENA from a perspective that emphasizes expanding contraceptive access and choice for women, that want it without patronizing those that do not. Future research should examine how systems of inequality relating to gender and religion in MENA shape women's autonomy in other ways, for example, access to abortion and choice in contraceptive methods. Additionally, future research should consider the ways in which these systems of inequality are similar between the United States and MENA, rather than othering the people that live in this region. Thank you for your time.